Hello, welcome back to one more lecture in managerial economics. So far we have seen the different topics or concepts in managerial economics, which is the first part of your syllabus in MAFA, that is managerial economics and financial accounting. Now in the coming lectures, let us see the second part of your subject, that is financial accounting. Before explaining you what is accounting, why it is carried on and the significance of the same and procedures that are adopted in accounting, let me tell you why accounting is needed. There is a saying in English that a small pen is greater than large memory. This is simply because for any individual it is not really possible to remember all the transactions that he is involved in a day. And this is more so in case of organizations which take up several activities in a day, who receive and pay money to different people at a time in a day. So for any individual or any organization, it is not really possible to remember all the transactions that he entered into, and as such, recording the same in any book is of vital significance. And this very process of recording and summarizing the financial transactions that take place in an organization is termed as accounting. And however, accounting standards or procedures or principles differ significantly from one organization to another, because organizations differ themselves in terms of their nature, in terms of their size, or in terms of the products or services which they generate. But however, there are certain universally accepted accounting principles which are called as Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, GAAP. And in this lecture, let me clearly explain you the different accounting concepts or accounting principles as well as accounting conventions. But before that, let me tell you the difference between accounting concepts and accounting conventions. Accounting concepts and accounting conventions. Accounting concepts are the assumptions with which books of accounts are maintained, or the assumptions under the backdrop of which all the transactions are recorded in an organization. And these accounting concepts are of course universally valid, and that is the reason why they are termed as generally accepted accounting principles, whereas accounting conventions are those customs or traditions which have been followed by organizations since ages, and since they are followed by all the organizations across the world, they have become the customs of trade, or they have become universally accepted procedures in accounting. So in this lecture, let me clearly explain you the different accounting concepts as well as accounting conventions. And taking the case of accounting concepts, the first accounting concept that everyone should know is business entity concept. I repeat, the first important concept of accounting is business entity concept. This concept of business entity postulates that in terms of maintaining books of accounts, an owner of a business shall be treated distinct and apart from the business. I repeat, the business entity concept postulates that in any organization, owners should be treated distinctly from its own business, or business and owners should be treated separately. That is the reason why even the capital that is contributed by an owner is regarded as a liability from the viewpoint of a business, and that is the reason why capital is shown as an item of liability in the balance sheet. So the first concept of accounting clearly states that in any organization, while maintaining books of accounts, owners should be treated distinctly from that of the business which he takes up, and that is the reason why when an owner makes use of the funds of a business for his personal use, let it be a very smaller amount even, whenever an owner uses the funds of his business for his personal use, the same is recorded as a loss or an item of expenditure, and it is shown in the books of accounts in the name of drawings. So drawings here means the money that is made use by the owner for his personal use. So business entity concept gives rise to several other accounting principles or concepts. And the second important accounting concept is going concern concept. Going concern concept. This concept again assumes that a business remains in existence forever. Whenever books of accounts are maintained, they are maintained with the assumption that the business which is established by an owner or by a group of individuals will remain in existence for some more years to come. And whenever accounts are prepared, they are prepared with the assumption that there will not be a point of liquidating the business, or there will not be a point of selling off or disposing or closing down the business. So going concern concept postulates that a business remains in existence as long as much contrary to the same exists. And another feature of another concept of accounting is money measurement concept. Money measurement concept. Before explaining you this particular concept of money measurement, let me tell you the very purpose why companies maintain books of accounts. Companies have to definitely maintain accounts in order to disclose their financial position or in order to reveal their profit or loss position to all its stakeholders. Again, here stakeholders may be either employees of an organization who receive their remuneration from companies, or it may be customers even who buy the products or services of an organization. Stakeholders of an organization may be the creditors who lend money to an organization. Stakeholders may be even shareholders of a company who invest their funds in the business, or stakeholders may even be the suppliers of raw materials, or stakeholders of any business may include government at large which receives its revenue by way of taxation, or stakeholders may be even society at large. And all these stakeholders will be definitely interested to know how a business is really functioning. And to disclose the financial position of any company, it is definitely essential to maintain books of accounts, and the same purpose is served by way of maintaining accounts. However, since the purpose of accounting is to reveal or disclose the financial position or financial status of a company on any specific date, it is essential to note every accounting transaction or to note the details of every transaction only in terms of money. In order to derive the profit figure or loss figure of any organization, transactions have to be definitely mentioned in terms of money only, but not in any other unit. And one more point is also to be kept in mind, that whenever transactions are recorded in monetary terms, the same unit of currency is to be represented in all the books of accounts. Otherwise, there may not be a possibility of comparing the financial results of one year with that of another year. That means, suppose if at all books of accounts of any Indian company are maintained or represented in terms of Indian rupees, the same should be followed forever, so as to compare the financial results of any particular year with that of other years, either coming years or previous years. And one more concept of accounting is accrual concept. This accrual concept states that whenever books of accounts are to be maintained, or whenever transactions are to be recorded, all the receipts which are supposed to be made by an organization shall also be included in the books of accounts, irrespective of the fact of whether they are actually received by the company or not. In simple words, accrual concept can be stated as the concept in which all the receipts or payments pertaining to a specific year are noted. And this obviously gives rise to another concept of accounting called accounting period concept. Accounting period concept. This concept of accounting postulates that whenever books of accounts are prepared, they are prepared for a stated period of time, maybe for 1 month, or maybe for 6 months, or maybe for 3 months, or for 1 year. in general, all the accounts are finalized for a span of 12 months starting on the 1st April of every year and ending on 31st March of the next year. So, any period of 12 months starting from 1st April of any year and ending on 31st March of the next year is regarded as an accounting period. And whenever accounts are finalized, such finalization of accounts should take place on the last date of financial year, that is mostly on 31st March. Another concept of accounting is dual aspect concept. Dual aspect concept. This is the most important concept of all the accounting concepts that we are discussing right now, and the dual aspect concept states that in every transaction that takes place in an organization, there will always be a benefit receiving aspect and a benefit giving aspect. And this concept of dual aspect gives rise to double entry system of accounting. Double entry system of accounting refers to entering every transaction in books of accounts twice, once in journal or book of original entry and secondly in ledger. So, double entry system of bookkeeping has come into force or is the outcome of dual aspect concept of accounting. And the very basic example for dual aspect concept of accounting can be taken from a simple example. For example, if at all a company purchases any asset worth 1 lakh or any asset for 1 lakh of rupees, in this transaction of purchasing an asset for 1 lakh rupees, there are two aspects involved. Number one, benefit receiving aspect, and another one is benefit giving aspect. If a company acquires any asset for 1 lakh rupees, there is an element of benefit receiving, that is the company is obtaining an asset worth 1 lakh. So that is the benefit receiving aspect. However, in the same transaction, there is also benefit giving aspect. Whenever a company spends any amount of money on anything, it naturally is foregoing the same amount, which is the benefit giving aspect. That is the reason why whenever we prepare balance sheets, we try to see that the total amount of assets equals liabilities. So, this dual aspect concept of accounting gives rise to a fundamental accounting equation which is equal to assets is equal to capital plus liabilities. This particular equation is called as accounting equation, and accounting equation is derived from this concept of dual aspect. And another concept of accounting is cost concept. Cost concept or historical cost concept. As we have seen in our previous lectures as well, historical cost refers to the cost that has been already incurred by an organization on anything. So whenever the value of assets are depicted in the balance sheets of a company, the same are projected in the cost or at the cost at which such assets are acquired. Since there exists inflation in any economy, the market values of assets will not remain the same, but however, whenever the values of assets are shown in the balance sheets, such assets values are always represented in terms of the cost at which they are actually procured, and this concept is known as cost concept or historical cost concept even. And one more concept of accounting is matching cost concept. Matching cost concept. Again, this concept postulates that whenever an expenditure is incurred by an organization or whenever items of expenditure are incurred in an organization, there must be a corresponding match of revenue as well for the same. That means at all points of time, a company's revenue and expenditures should match, or at least the benefit receiving aspect and benefit giving aspects should match with one another. And the last concept of accounting is revenue realization concept. This concept postulates that accounts are to be maintained only when, or receipts or details of receipts are to be entered into books of accounts only when they are realized or only when they are actually received. Suppose if a company makes a sales of suppose 1 crore, this amount of 1 crore shall be shown as a sales or a revenue from sales only when such amount is actually received by an organization, but not when the sales are made. Sometimes a company may even go for credit sales, under which the money or sales revenue may not be realized immediately on the day of sale. But the revenue realization concept postulates that amount of revenue shall be included in the books of accounts only on the date at which such revenue is actually received by an organization. Now, let me explain you some of the important accounting conventions. Accounting conventions. However, accounting conventions are just 4 in number, namely convention of consistency, and then convention of full disclosure, and then materiality and conservatism. I repeat, conventions of accounting are 4 in number, namely convention of consistency, convention of full disclosure, convention of materiality, and convention of conservatism. First of all, let me explain you what is the convention of consistency. The convention or standard tradition or custom of preparing books of accounts states that whenever any particular method of accounting is adopted, like whenever a particular method of depreciation or method of inventory valuation is adopted, the same should be followed or adopted for a consistent period of time, or at least as long as any major modifications in the business environment does not take place. Thus, the convention of consistency states that whatever accounting procedures or policies that are adopted by an organization, or whatever methods of accounting that are adopted by an organization shall be adopted for at least a reasonable period of time in order to avoid the problems that arise due to compatibility issues or the problems that arise due to lack of parity between financial results of one year and another year. Similarly, consistency in accounting practices is also needed in order to compare the performance of an organization for 1 year with that of some other years. If at all, the accounting procedures or principles are not uniform throughout a stated period of time, again, comparison of the same may not be possible. And another convention of accounting is full disclosure convention. This convention states that whenever books of accounts are prepared, the ultimate purpose should be to reveal complete details of the financial position of a company. This obviously means that whenever books of accounts are prepared, whenever financial statements are prepared, care should be taken to see that what and all is actually happening in the company is ultimately projected in financial statements. Because the purpose of accounting is to provide true financial position, or is to depict the true financial position of a company and to reveal the same or to disclose the same to all the stakeholders. That is the reason why whenever books of accounts are prepared, every minute detail of financial transaction of a company shall be recorded. However, the same accounting convention is also supported by another convention called Materiality Convention. Again, this convention postulates that only material facts mean only the facts or information which have pertinent importance or which have much significance on the financial affairs of a company shall be recorded in the books of accounts. Suppose if a businessman spends 1 rupee for his personal use, the same 1 rupee need not be shown in books of accounts, because an expense of 1 rupee does not really affect the financial position of a company. So only material facts or only significant financial details or financial transactions which are of paramount importance in deciding the profit or loss position of a company shall only be included in the financial statements. And the last convention of accounting is conservatism. Again, this convention states that whenever books of accounts are prepared, managers who are responsible for preparing accounts should take care to see that they foresee the losses of a company at least to the maximum possible extent, and they should include all such probable losses which we call as the bad debts in the books of accounts, and try to depict the profit figure at as low level as possible in order to avoid certain undesirable consequences. So the ultimate purpose of accounting is to maintain books of accounts by abiding with all the principles or concepts that we have stated so far.